My mom said, "Selfish daughters don't deserve mansions. Hand it over to your brother or don't bother coming to his wedding." So I refused, got slapped in front of 250 guests, and planned a revenge that left them homeless and speechless. Hey Reddit, my name is Vanessa, and never in my life did I expect that the very family meant to lift me up would instead publicly drag me down. But that's exactly what happened on the day that should have been a celebration of love and unity. What unfolded at my brother's wedding wasn't just a moment of embarrassment. It was a calculated betrayal that shattered the final thread I had been holding onto with my family. A thread built on duty, not affection. On guilt, not respect. And when I finally refused to sacrifice my life's work, the mansion I had earned with years of blood, sweat, and isolation, my own mother called me a selfish daughter in front of 250 guests, and my brother struck me across the face. People laughed. Some out of discomfort, others from pure malice. But what they didn't realize was that their laughter would be the last they'd ever share at my expense, because I chose a revenge so quiet, so precise, it left them in ashes without ever raising my voice. Growing up in our household was like playing a game where the rules changed based on who was involved. My younger brother, Luke, was always the star player. Born 2 years after me, he was treated as the center of our universe from the moment he arrived. My parents, especially my mother, saw him as the golden boy. His mediocre achievements were treated like Nobel Prizes. When he brought home participation ribbons, they celebrated like he'd won Olympic gold. He failed a math class once, and the teacher was instantly accused of bias. He sideswiped our neighbor's mailbox while driving my dad's car at 17, but that was brushed off with a laugh and a "boys will be boys." Meanwhile, I was the unseen force keeping the house together. I cooked dinner when Mom was late. I helped Luke study when he couldn't focus. I earned perfect grades, scholarships, and eventually a full ride to an Ivy League business school. And still, my triumphs were met with lukewarm approval. "That's nice, honey, if I was lucky." I didn't complain. I adapted. I realized early that if I wanted to be acknowledged, truly respected, I would have to build something that couldn't be ignored. After college, I launched a tech consulting firm out of a shoebox apartment. I took on clients who paid late, questioned my knowledge, and treated me like a novice simply because I was a woman in a male-dominated industry. I worked 20-hour days, took online MBA courses at night, and reinvested every cent into my business. By the time I was 30, I had a team of 40 employees and had just secured a 7-figure contract with an international firm. That's when I bought my mansion. A 6-bedroom glass and steel dream perched on a hilltop overlooking the city. It had a wraparound deck, smart home integration, and a library so beautiful I cried when I first walked in, not because of the architecture, but because it was mine. Every inch of that house was built for my grit, and it was the first place I ever felt truly safe. Then came the wedding. Luke got engaged to a woman named Jasmine, a bright, genuine girl I actually liked. When they asked if they could hold the ceremony at my mansion, I hesitated. But Jasmine looked so hopeful that I relented, with a caveat. "Only the ceremony," I said, "not the reception. I don't want 250 people tracking mud across my floors." My mother scowled instantly. "After everything your brother's been through, you're setting limits?" I bit my tongue. "This is my home. I'm being generous." Jasmine was grateful. Luke didn't even acknowledge it. The ceremony was beautiful. The weather was perfect, a bright May sky, soft music from a string quartet, and white florals lining the walkways. My mansion had never looked more serene. I wore a navy blue gown, elegant, not flashy. Presentable, but far from attention-seeking. I was there to fulfill my role, and nothing more. But during the reception, held off-site in a lavish, tented garden, everything unraveled. It started with the toasts. Jasmine's father gave a heartfelt speech that left half the room dabbing tears from their eyes. Then my mother stood, glass of champagne in hand. She swept her gaze over the crowd like a seasoned politician. "I just want to say," she began sweetly, "how proud I am of Luke. and how grateful I am to have a son who understands the importance of family. Murmurs of agreement spread through the tent. Glasses clinked. She continued, some people think success is about money or status. But real success is about generosity. It's about lifting up those you love. Then she looked directly at me, which is why I was so deeply disappointed when Vanessa refused to give up her home to her own brother when he needed it most. The entire tent went quiet. My heart hammered in my chest. Was she really doing this here? She said it was hers. That her success was hers alone. And you know what I say to that? She raised her glass higher. Selfish daughters don't deserve success. Laughter. From strangers. From people who didn't know a thing about me. Some laughed uncomfortably. Others giggled like it was a stand-up routine. I stood, chair scraping loudly. This is not the time or place, I said, my voice shaking. Luke stood too. He walked across the floor and slapped me. Hard. Open palm across my face. The sound was so loud it snapped through the tent like a whip. I stumbled back. He glared at me with fury. You deserved that, he spat. After everything our parents have given you. No one stepped in. No one said a word. I stared into a sea of blank faces. And then I turned. I walked away. Head held high. Face stinging. Heart in shambles. But inside something snapped. And this time, I wasn't going to be the good daughter who stayed silent. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't even text a single person. I packed a bag, left the reception, and sat in my library as the moonlight poured through the skylight. The city lights twinkled below as if nothing had happened. But everything had changed. That slap was just the final straw. They had always made it clear. Luke was the chosen one. I was just the background character meant to be useful. The reliable one. The one who was expected to sacrifice and never complain. I remembered a dozen slights, getting grounded for forgetting chores while Luke got ice cream after crashing a bike. Years of building and achieving just to get overlooked. But this? Publicly humiliating me, assaulting me, and laughing about it? This was war. The next morning, I started making calls. I knew Luke was in financial trouble, but I didn't know the extent until I spoke with a mortgage broker who said, "Are you co-signing for Luke's second mortgage on your property?" My heart dropped. "Absolutely not," I said. Luke had forged an email for me claiming he had permission to use my house as collateral for a new business venture, a cryptocurrency-themed restaurant. I saw the fake documents. I saw the lies. That's when I contacted my lawyer, Rena, a shark in designer heels. I wanted to cease and desist for using my property illegally. I wanted a letter of eviction. I installed biometric locks on every door. I hired a private security firm. No one, not even my mother, could set foot on my property without permission. Then I contacted Jasmine's parents. I showed them the proof that Luke had lied, falsified documents, and used their wedding contributions to manipulate them. They were horrified. Jasmine had been told the house was a gift. They had no idea. Jasmine moved out weeks later. She sent me a message full of apologies and regret. She'd filed for divorce. I cried, not because I was sad, but because someone finally believed me. Then came the final step, a notarized letter to my parents. Effective immediately, I am severing all ties, financial, legal, personal. You are not welcome in my life. You raised me to believe I had to earn your love through sacrifice. I now know that the problem was never me. It was your inability to love what you couldn't control. Goodbye. That was 6 months ago. I haven't heard from them since. My company is thriving. I bought a second property upstate. I sleep peacefully. And the mansion they tried to take is still mine. Every brick, every window, every beam. They thought they could humiliate me into submission. Instead, I rose. Alone. Unbothered. Unstoppable. Like this story? Hit that subscribe button for more twisted tales of revenge, redemption, and reality. You don't owe anyone your peace. Protect it fiercely.